Good morning, everybody. Today I'm going to take a few minutes and show you how I slush cast a canopy for my military drone clone project. So here is the canopy. This is the mock-up anyways. Pretty solid. It's made out of 3 or 4 layers of medium density fiberboard. It's an 1/8 inch piece along the bottom. It's cut to the specific shape. From there it's machined so it's tapered along the side and then rounded over. It's done on a table saw and then on a table router. Alright. It's drilled for the safety switch. I'm a Pixock user, so I need a safety switch. This little recess here is for a little unit to go in there with LED and USB. And on the side is the spot where the telemetry antenna will be. Alright, so it's made out of MDF. It's sanded and cut to shape, or cut and sanded I should say. And then once that's done, it's coated with polyester resin or fiberglass resin. The fiberglass resin allows it to get nice and hard, fills in all the pores of the wood, and then it allows me to go and sand it down. So I do a couple layers of polyester resin, and then after that it's just prime and sanding, and that gives it a nice smooth finish. Alright. From there, I create a silicone mold. Silicone molded the frame. You can see there's the little square. There's where the antenna goes in. There's the safety button. This is the front of the mold. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to slush mold a canopy. Basically you want a canopy that's hollow because it has to fit over top of all the equipment that sits in the aircraft. So to do that, I'm going to use a 2-part plastic. You can see this alright. This is called Smooth Cast 66. This is a 2-part. This is the B part. I'm going to use 2 coats of it. I'm going to go ahead and mix that up. So to mix it up, I've just got a couple of cups from the local dollar store. You can see that there's ridges on them. I use them to measure. What I'm going to do is fill it up to the bottom of the first ridge. So it's easy enough to pour. It's like water. That's number 1. And number 2. And again, you can see it's Smooth Cast 66. Smooth Cast 66 is a semi-rigid plastic, so it sets up pretty hard, but it's got a little bit of give to it when it's done. So now the fun begins. I'm just going to protect the mold from a spill. Pour one into the other. And I pour them back and forth a couple times just to help get them mixed up. Doesn't mean I'm not going to stir them, I'm just helping the mixing process. Okay. Now, Smooth Cast 66D has got a pot life about 7 minutes, which means that at about 7 or 8 minutes it's going to what they call kick, or start to thicken up and harden. It gets quite warm. You can certainly feel it in the cup if you leave any behind. Okay. Now we're going to pour it in the mold. Give it a little swish while we can see it. I'm going to put the top of the mold back on and pull out our rubber bands. Start sealing it up. We want to make sure she's good and tight because she's going to get spun around by hand. And I think one more for good luck. Okay. Now, the fun begins. Okay. So what I'm going to do next the focus of this application of the plastic is the sides. You may have noticed that the model had a flange around the outside. Well, that's at the top. I need to make sure that that's well and truly filled in. So to do that, we're just going to focus on the sides. And so for the next 15 minutes, I am just going to spin it around like this. What that does is it causes the liquid to fall up to the lowest spot, and the lowest spot is the flange around the outside. So I'm just going to keep doing that for 15 minutes. Alright, so I've mixed up my two-part. I've poured it in. You'll see there's a little hole here. I poured it into the mold. So now the idea is to just rock it on this flat because we're just trying to get the top of the canopy to be cast this time. So and it's going to take a while. However, I left some in the cup, and what will happen is I'll be able to keep an eye on that as it gets harder, and I'll know it's time to stop. Alrighty, I've gone 13 minutes, almost 14 minutes now, rotating it around, as you saw. When I look in the cup, I can see that the cup, well, it's not pouring out, so I know it's gotten pretty set up now. So, and it's really warm to the touch. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to leave it here. I'm going to come back in an hour. We'll take it out and see how it came out. So we'll be back in a bit. Okay, things had about, well, just over an hour to set, so I'm going to pull the bands off. There we go. Alrighty, I have now cast the canopy. You can see she's come out. She's nice and light. It's clearly hollow, although she seems a little thicker on that end, which is a little odd. Anyways, I just need to get her off the board and we'll see how she works out. So there we go. Now she's taken off. You can see she's solid on the bottom. I have to router this out next, so that's what I'll do next. I have two of them now that are cast. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'll router out the bottoms. And then I'll give them a sanding down, a priming, and we'll get them ready to paint. That's it. On to the next step. So here we go. I've cut out the bottom. You can see it's a little bit drippy on the inside. It's also a little bit wet because I just washed it out, but you get the idea. Now I should flip over top the electronics. I just need to go and do some final sanding to it and coat of paint, and we're good to go. So the next time you see it, you'll see it with a coat of paint on it, and I'll put the holes in it so that the various components can go in. So I can put the USB in, the switch, the antenna. So next time you see it, that's what you're going to see. Hey everyone, you can see I finished the canopy now. I spray painted it in yellow, sun yellow, and I had a friend of mine make the decals. You can see it says search and rescue. I've installed the USB on the back with the LED and the safety switch, which is necessary for Pixhawk. As well, you can see a small window at the back. That's an OLED display, so it gives you flight status and flight controller status while it's still on the ground. So there you go. It's a little cold here in Canada, so spray painting it is a little bit of a problem, but I don't think it turned out too bad. No? Search and rescue. Very cool. Anyways, thanks for watching.